Hi guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Let's get into some oracle cards and look into the energies of love and romance right now. What's on the horizon? What's in the air for you at this time? So the first one we have is attraction. So it looks like you are either attracting in a new romantic partner or suitor, or somebody that you have recently connected with is feeling a surge of attraction towards you that may be causing them to kind of stop and reflect about past experiences that they've had in love, kind of inventorying where they went wrong, where they overlooked certain things, red flags maybe, or they themselves were a walking red flag. And there's a sense of like an opportunity with you to turn over a new leaf, to try something different, to really put their money where their mouth is as far as a commitment they had made to themselves to change, to do better, to learn the lessons from previous cycles. And it feels like you've incentivized this person to put in some extra effort, or to start to reframe their progress in that department, in that regard, up to this point in time from a new angle. Like they're not just doing this for themselves or to increase the odds that the next time love knocks on their door, that there are going to be better or different results. It's almost like you've come into the equation, and so now there's something to focus on. Now there's something for them to reflect as far as where they're at in their journey and in their life versus what they know of you or have experienced with you and what you're bringing to the table. And so this is somebody who's really thinking very hard in a logical sense, but also checking in with their heart space and kind of like, am I ready for this experience with this person? And if I feel ready, what can I do to ensure that I'm not even subconsciously repeating previous cycles, patterns in my life that I have identified as far as romance is concerned. You're hoisting this person up beyond a place of just self-reflection, or maybe they've been out of the dating pool for a while. They've just been taking some time to themselves. And so now they're asking that big question, like, am I ready for something new? Am I ready to embark on a new journey, on a fresh beginning, as far as love and romance and the potential of partnership is concerned? We also have the unexpected. So if this is somebody that you have recently encountered, they have unexpectedly been kind of awakened within that heart space. Feelings have stirred up. They might have just been going about their day, going about their life, and all of a sudden they cross paths with you, and the focus has shifted incredibly to a very precise attention that is being given to this situation, the possibilities and the potential between the two of you at this point in time, and somebody who may be kind of like mapping out a long-term plan. What do I need to release in order to make space within my life or within my heart for whatever can happen with this person? What do I need to follow through on in terms of these nudges or these hunches, or even just this feeling itself, something that has stirred and awakened within the heart space that might help them to kind of transcend a period of being on their own, kind of just trying to get their life back together if they came out of another connection recently, or something where they might not have had a lot of luck as far as love is concerned. And this is somebody that has, instead of like pointing the finger of blame, they've asked that big question like, well, what did I bring to the table that might need some fine tuning, that might need to be kind of discarded or improved upon in some way to increase the odds that I have success as far as romance is concerned. So anything that they've been doing to course correct, it has aligned very much with the intersection of you in their reality. If this is somebody that you have been dealing with for a while, maybe this is like a situationship, a coworker, a friendship even, this is somebody who is developing feelings for you. They've gotten to know you as a person, or through like their limited or even like surface level interactions, they're sensing a deeper bond, a unique chemistry between the two of you, something that they might have brushed off when they first met you, or kind of earlier on in your dealings with one another, because of the nature of the dynamic. Like if it was coworkers, they were trying to keep it professional. If it's friends, there's like, I don't want to cross that boundary and risk losing our friendship or messing things up. But it's almost like they can't ignore that call within their heart that is encouraging them to follow that kind of softer plane of experience beyond just being very contained within themselves in order to branch out, in order to take that risk and start to take steps to confessing those feelings, or kind of putting their feelers out there to sort of anticipate, is this a mutual attraction? Is there potential here? Am I your type? Am I somebody that you'd be interested in, or am I just coming out of left field as far as this is concerned? So somebody who may have a really good poker face as far as they're trying to keep things very professional, but there's a lot going on kind of in the subtle layers of this individual behind the scenes. They're thinking a lot about you and this experience in their off hours, and it feels like this is somebody who doesn't just want to kind of sit in that energy of deliberation forever, but they're having to kind of adjust themselves in order to open up to the possibilities, both that you would reject them and also that you would embrace them totally. And then kind of what does that mean for the two of you going forward, or for them themselves in terms of how they've kind of been living their life up to this point. And we also have hunger. Yeah, so you've awakened some kind of animal instinct within this person. They are deeply attracted to you, both for like surface level reasons, but it feels like there's also something within their soul which has stirred, which is like kind of drawn to you, compelled to you, like ocean waves with the full moon, or like the wolf kind of howling at the moon. You bring out this side of them that doesn't even kind of consider the idea of competition or other options that you might have. There's a sense of like, there is something here and I need to explore that. There is something which is calling me forth beyond kind of the territory that you've covered with one another up to this point in time. Or maybe there's a lot of mystery with that energy of the moon. There's a lot that they still need to discover about you, and there's a sense that they understand it's a different version of themselves that needs to kind of progress along that path. They need to alleviate their doubts. They need to step out from behind that curtain of fear and take a chance, take a risk in this situation. So this is somebody that's listening to that animal nature inside, and they're kind of going through the process of sort of shutting the logical mind down that might be coming up with excuses, or kind of reasons why it might not work, or why they're not ready, or maybe you'd be unhappy with them in the long term as previous partners had been. And there's a sense that this urge they have towards you, something in the soul which is drawing them in your direction, that is becoming the louder voice which is compelling them beyond this threshold of kind of fear and uncertainty and all that remains to be kind of explored and written in the story between the two of you. So let's get some message cards from their higher self and see what this person wants you to know right now. Okay, and the first one that we have is, I have a gift for you. So this can be somebody that's going to ask you out on a date. They've got an offer in terms of like, hey, let's spend some quiet time together. Let's get away from the hustle and bustle. If you've only kind of encountered them in a group setting, this can involve like one-on-one time, a coffee date, going out for drinks, going out for dinner, going out for lunch. Somebody that wants to have more direct communication with you without the interruptions and distractions of the circumstances that you've been in with one another up to this point in time. This person, it feels like, also wants to gift you with like a peek into aspects of themselves that haven't already been out on display, or things that they may only kind of open up to people about when they become more comfortable. And it's a sense of like, this is a really good way to break the ice between the two of you, and to determine like, is there some real compatibility here on a human to human level, or is this just something that is kind of a surface level attraction? So it feels like this is somebody that's looking for something more serious at this point in their life. They're not looking to waste your time or their time. And so there's a sense of like, the next step they want to take towards you holds some kind of deeper meaning, or the ability to like dive beyond just sort of surface level topics and really start to explore kind of who you each are as individuals, and if that meshes well with one another. And we also have, I'm feeling the consequences of my choices and actions. So if this is somebody that you've been in their presence for a while, you've been in one of those lives for a while, so like coworker or friend, they could have been suppressing feelings for a while. They could have been leaning into that area of excuses, letting the fear win, that had told them they're not good enough, or, that you wouldn't like them, or maybe something where they've kind of questioned, are you too good to be true? And maybe it's better to kind of just play it safe and remain within that friend zone. And it feels like the more that they've tried to kind of crunch those feelings down inside of themselves, the more that these feelings have grown and expanded. There's this undeniable animal magnetism between the two of you, and there's a sense that this person's like, I'm just going to kick myself if I don't do something about this. And already the ways in which they've kind of held their truth back, it's feeling very uncomfortable. So for a lot of you, this is somebody who's getting ready to have that conversation, to reach out, to, again, like invite you somewhere more private, more intimate, more one-on-one, where you can really get to know one another, and to confirm or deny, like, are these feelings, is this just some kind of carnal attraction? Is it just some kind of karmic lesson? Or is this perhaps the pathway to the type of relationship that I have been seeking and that you have been seeking as well? And we also have telepathically communicate with me. Yeah, so it feels like this person is like thinking about you a lot, and they're thinking like, I hope that some of those thoughts reach you somehow. I hope that for whatever I'm not saying or doing in the material sense, that you're picking up on my vibe, that energy of interest is translating to you. There's a sense that they may have also kind of sensed your energy around them, or starting to explore that there's something more than just physical attraction. There's more than just an emotional energy going on here. There's something by way of like a spiritual component, or something that is drawing their attention to kind of aspects of what they're feeling towards you, or what is surfacing within them that is kind of out of the ordinary. It's beyond the space of what they're accustomed to kind of experiencing, either with newer connections or with people that they haven't been romantic with. It's kind of like the energy of sort of, if you have a loved one, a family member, for example, or in like a really long-term relationship, and you can kind of empathically sense if that person is, kind of feeling down, or is in a period of distress, or something like that, they're already kind of feeling these sort of waves from you in some sort of sense. So if you've been kind of down in your mood, you've been sort of stressed out, they're feeling that, and there's an urge within this person to kind of bring some sunshine into your life. That can be where the idea of like asking you out on a date, or just spending some quality time alone with you comes in. It's sort of like, I don't know what's going on, in your life or with you, but I want to try and uplift you in some sort of way if I can. There's a sense that they are also able to really hear kind of the echo of your joy in their reality. So times that you've spent with one another, you've had conversations, your laughter kind of brings something forth within them. Even your smile really lights them up, and it's a sense that follows them, that continues to sort of remain with them in the hours or days after your interactions. And so there's a lot of attention not just being paid at this time to kind of what they're going to do in the material sense, but also kind of the deeper implications of what may be stirring up between the two of you, or what can no longer be contained within them, that is causing them to want to act upon these feelings, kind of explore that more openly. So if you've been, sort of feeling that energetic connection with this person, they're definitely feeling that with you as well. And for these energies, this feels like somebody that isn't going to stay silent about this forever. They may be contemplating things, they may be deliberate in their approach, but there's definitely a curiosity here about you, and feelings that have surfaced towards you and about this situation that it feels like are taking top priority for them at this time, when it comes to the idea of kind of branching out beyond a period of working on themselves or self-love, or kind of closing themselves off from romantic relationships with others while they get some things together in their life emotionally, or in other kind of ways. And there's a sense of like, beyond that cycle, beyond that path that they've been walking, you have now caught their attention. This situation is now kind of coaxing them to sort of hurry up with whatever they have going on, or to continue kind of putting one foot in front of the other, going through the motions day by day until they get to that place of readiness where it's undeniable for them internally, or even in signs and synchronicities that come through externally, that like, yeah, I got to act upon this. I gotta speak now or forever hold my peace. I can't just kind of linger in this energy of wondering forever. And so you've definitely come into this person's reality as some kind of beacon on the horizon. Their sights are set on you, and it feels like they're gearing up to take some kind of action in that regard. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you'd like a personal reading, there's a link for that in the bio. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.